In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to work from Quizmaker's form view. We'll be taking a look at adding questions and choices, feedback and branching options, shuffling, scoring, number of attempts, and adding media. For this tutorial, I'll be working with the Quizmaker base quiz file, so feel free to download the practice files now, and you can use them to follow along. When you first arrive in Quizmaker, you're going to be here in the question view. Step number one is to add a question to your course. Now, we're going to be using one of these question types right here, graded, survey, and freeform. I should note at this time that we do have the ability in Quizmaker 13 to import questions. We'll put a link here after the video and that you can access that tutorial on importing questions into Quizmaker. But for now, let's add a graded question, and the reality is, regardless of which of these three that you choose, this dialog box is going to open and give you access to all three question types. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll be working from a multiple choice question, but regardless of which of these question types you choose, once you insert it into your course, you will arrive here in the form view. Now, it's called form view because I can very quickly, via a form-like interface, enter my question text and my answer choices. So let's say the question is, what is my name? And now here's a cool aspect about form view. I want you to watch the lower right corner down here. This is a preview of what my question is going to look like. As I enter my choices here, you'll see the question just appeared. Let's say David. There it appears. Mike. Tom. Automatically updating and giving me a preview. Really cool. And my friends, that's all there is to actually creating your question. If you just wanted to come in and quickly create a question in form view, you're done. What is my name? Here are my choices. Let me choose the correct one. And let's preview. And there we go. There is our multiple choice question. Perfect. Easy. Now, getting started is easy, but there are a few other things that we want to pay attention to here in form view, because while the base question is great, there are a lot of customization options that we can create right here in form view. So let's take a look at some of those. So the first thing that we'll take a look at here is question feedback. Now we have some options. If we come up to see feedback here, we can choose to provide the learner feedback by question or by individual choice. So if you would like to provide them with feedback on their individual choices, choose by choice, and you can put your feedback right here. Are you kidding me? Do I look like a David? And I could do the same thing for Tom. Now you see the more right here. If I select more, this gives me the opportunity to play some audio. So what I could do is I could record some audio and they would receive some audio feedback as well if they answer David. So I would simply click record and use my microphone to say, "Are you kidding me? Do I look like a David?" And just like that, click OK. You'll see a little sound icon here. Now when the learner answers David, and I click submit, what'll happen is the feedback will pop up saying, "Are you kidding me?" And the audio will also play. You might not be able to hear it, but let's see. "Are you kidding me? Do I look like a David?" Perfect. You may not have heard it, but it played. So just that quickly, I can really provide some great customized feedback on a by choice level. Now I can also provide some feedback by the overall question, whether they got it correct or incorrect. And so you'll see that right down here. That's right, or you did not select the correct response. And if you'd like to customize this, you can simply type something differently in there, and you also have the option once again to provide some audio feedback. Now you'll notice right up here where it says attempts, let's talk about attempts here as well, because it's kind of tied into the feedback. If you choose to give the learner more than one attempt, then they will have some try again feedback as well. So they'll see this feedback if they get the question incorrect on their first attempt, and then if they get it wrong a second time, then they would see the incorrect feedback. So that's a little bit about setting some feedback up in your course. Now I just mentioned attempts, and let's go take a look at that briefly here. So you have the option on any given question to give the learner anywhere from 1 to 10 or unlimited attempts at that question. Quizmaker is really great because you can set this for each individual question. So if I have a really easy question, maybe I give them 1 attempt. And if I have a more difficult question, then I can give them multiple attempts. So it's just a great way to be able to customize the quiz further. Now another cool option is shuffle. Right now, I'm going to set the answers to shuffle. And let's take a look. You'll notice David, Mike, and Tom. When I preview this, Tom, David, Mike. Let's reshuffle. Mike, David, Tom. It's going to randomly assign these items. However, there may be a time, and let me add in all of the above here option, where you probably don't want that to shuffle because all of the above is, well, that doesn't make sense. It's in the number 2 slot. So what we would want to do in this case, if I want these choices to appear in order, I would want to make sure that the answers do not shuffle. So it's just a little bit about shuffling your answers or not shuffling your answers. Now next up we have scoring. I can choose to have the learner scored by question or by individual choice. So right now it's scored by question and I put the number of points right down here. They get 10 points and I can change that right here. I could also choose to have the learner scored by individual choice. So maybe if they answer David, they get partial credit. They get 2 points. Then maybe it's 2 points there. Maybe Mike's 3 points. So I have the opportunity here to go through and alter the points on a per choice basis. Or if I choose by question, then they'll just get scored on their overall response, whether it's correct or incorrect to that question. Now another aspect that you can set right here from Form View are the branching options. So let's say you have multiple questions, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to insert a couple of blank slides here to give you this example. Let's insert one more. And let's say that if a learner gets a question wrong, you would like to branch them. Maybe it's to some bit of information or maybe it's to another slide. So what we can do here is right from Form View, let's say they get the question incorrect. What we can do is we can say, if they get this question incorrect, let's branch them to one of these other slides. So this gives you the opportunity then to really create a dynamic quiz where if the learner gets a question wrong, perhaps they go to a remedial section or some other bit of information that you then place on this slide. And then after this, we can insert another question and then they can continue with the quiz. So Quizmaker then really becomes a great tool for not just quizzing, but also educating as well. 2 last things that I would draw your attention to here in Form View. Number 1, we do have the opportunity to do some basic text editing here. We can bold and italicize the questions and the answer choices, and you'll see this updated in the preview. We can also insert media and sound right from this dialog, so we could insert a picture from a file, for example. But notice when I do, there's actual a layout that is going to be used for this, so it will change the current layout that I have here. Now, if you don't want that to happen, what you can do is you can use Slide View, but that's the next tutorial. So you'll have to go check out Slide View where it gets really fun. For now, this has been a quick tutorial on Form View. If you have any questions about this or any other Quizmaker item, please join us at the eLearning Heroes community and stop on by the forums, ask your question, and we will be there to help you out. That's what we're hired for. That's what we do, and we love doing it. So ask your questions, and we will do our best to get you set up. Take care.